since I'm always supported, I'm always being invested into by the prime creator to fulfill my soul's purpose. What excuse do I have to not fulfill my purpose? That's ultimately what it comes down to. There is no excuse to not fulfill my soul purpose. So I'm going to do it no matter what. And it's been taking me what I feel like longer than it should up until this point, but it's all a learning lesson. It's all part of the game. And that's all this is, just a game. Much love and wholeness, y'all. I'm Razir, and today we're talking about trust. So trust has been a really, really big thing, a really big theme in my life recently, because I have lacked a lot of trust in many different areas of my life, but more specifically, I've lacked a trust in my highest self. I've lacked a trust in just ultimately what people call God, the creator, whatever you want to call it. I lack trust in it. And the reason why I lack trust in it, even though I thought I was being trusting in it, I thought wrong. I was really not trusting, because really I was putting more faith into my external reality rather than being in here in my heart space and trusting that everything's going to go as well as I choose for it to be. And whatever I choose, that's on me. Because whatever I choose, the universe, God, the creator, whatever you want to call it, supports our decisions, everything that we decide. And so if I wanted to, do something that's totally out of alignment with my highest good, I can do it and I'd be supported. Or if I wanted to do something that is totally in alignment with my highest good, I can do it and I'd be supported. So that's what this video is about today. And I don't really have, a script or anything. I'm just speaking totally from the heart, because I feel like this is what I've needed to do. Like, I've actually wrote out a script already, and intuitively, I don't feel like it's really necessary for this video. And what I have been doing recently more of is actually trusting my intuition, trusting that not me, like as in the ego, but me as in my highest self always has the answers. And if I listen to that, everything will work out exactly as it needs to, and I just have to trust it. And so let me get into why, like the real specific reasons why I haven't been as trusting as I should be. And first thing that's coming up is being unhappy with my living situation. And you might look around me, see this nice view and everything, and you may ask, why would you ever be unhappy with your living situation when you live in a place that looks like that? Southern California. It's nice and sunshine almost every day of the year. But everyone has a place that they need to be in life. Everyone has a physical location that they need to be in. And I've been feeling the need to just get away from this location for many years, many years. And just like on top of that feeling, I've been living in like the room that I'm living in right now. I'm not going to show you guys, just out of respect for family that I'm living with, but I'll just put it lightly and say that it's an older house that needs a lot of renovation. So I'm not going to go into any more detail than that, but it's an older house that needs a lot of renovation. And yeah, I've been living here, and previous to that, my conditions were even worse. So I'm not even getting into that today. That's a whole different story. But my conditions were worse. So this is better, and I was grateful for a while. I was grateful for, a pretty long time, because I came from an even worse situation. So now being here, I'm like, oh yeah, this is way better. But now that I've been here for a while, and I've been putting up with the same inconsistent sleeping patterns and lack of quality rest, and trying to, just ultimately trying to get good rest, but not really not really being able to get good rest. So feeling consistently and constantly sleep deprived and tired, and feeling like if I push myself too much, I'm just almost literally gonna collapse from exhaustion. Like there's been times where I've been so tired but still functioning that I felt like if I close my eyes, I just like drop and just like pass out right then and there. So I've been to those extreme levels of exhaustion and everything, and all of that is just being totally real. Is just a manifestation of the choices that I've made in life, and I know that, being totally real and honest with myself. So I can blame my external reality, I can blame my environment all I want, but really it's my choices. But I was blaming my external reality. I was, blaming my environment for how I'm feeling. And so I was consistently and constantly giving power to that instead of drawing that power back into myself. And that's how I began to unconsciously put trust into my external reality and my environment rather than trusting in the internal, knowing that everything is created from within, and then the external is just a reflection of that. I know that, but I wasn't acting on it, I wasn't embodying it. And so consistently making that choice to place my trust in my external reality, it was debilitating to my spiritual growth and my healing, because it felt like every day was just a constant battle. Every day was just a chore just to get out of bed, just to open my eyes, just to wake up. It felt like it was a chore and a battle just to do that stuff. And so the more I fell into that negative spiral, the more I started to lose faith, because trust and faith go hand in hand. The more I started to lose faith, the worse my reality, my experience in this reality started to become. I started just, locking myself in my room, just only focusing on what needed to be done in order to get myself out of here. I was in survival mode. I was in fight or flight for years. And that wreaked so much havoc on my nervous system, to where even like I just experienced it this week, to where it was actually cloudy for like 4 days straight, which was a welcome change for me. I enjoy the the change and the variation of weather, but so let me back up. So yeah, it was cloudy for about 4, maybe 5 days, but it was basically from like Monday to I think Friday. It was cloudy, overcast, and the sun wasn't really shining like that. It wasn't really shining that much. And being that every morning when I wake up, if the sun is shining, coming through those big glass panes, then I feel like I'm being cooked alive, because it gets so hot with the sun beaming right on me directly through the glass. While I'm sleeping, it feels like I'm being cooked. That's the best way I can describe it. That's what it feels like. And I didn't really realize it. I mean, yeah, honestly, like I knew it, but I didn't really acknowledge it. That I developed a slight sense of PTSD whenever I'm asleep or just laying with my eyes closed and the sun is shining on me, because I know that feeling of feeling like I'm like my body temperature is rises, and it becomes so uncomfortable for me to just rest and sleep that I reacted to that feeling by becoming angry and frustrated and blaming my environment again. But yeah, I fell into that cycle of, again, blaming my reality, blaming my environment for how I feel. But going back to how it was overcast and cloudy, when it was overcast and cloudy, I actually got some decent rest. I was actually able to rest, decently well, where I woke up with at least a good amount of energy. Because usually I wake up and I feel groggy, tired. I feel just terrible. Like it's a chore to even just open my eyes, because I'm so tired. I slept so incredibly bad that I don't really have any energy just to, just get up and start my day. And so when it was overcast and cloudy, that was like the perfect time for me to actually just really rest, actually get some good rest. And so I did that, and I let myself sleep in for as long as my body wanted to sleep in. And it was a game changer for me because it just allowed me to see and acknowledge how much my environment really is impacting me, but also it allowed me to see how much control, I think a fly just flew in my eye, but also allowed me to see how much control I have over myself and what I choose for myself. It was, yesterday when the sun came out again, after the clouds went away, I got a little bit used to sleeping without the sun beaming straight on me. And yes, I do have blinds in there, but again, like, it's an old house and the blinds don't really work as well as they probably should. And so, I bought something to kind of, protect myself more from the sun, but you still feel the heat that's coming through the glass. And again, I'm not gonna go into any more detail, but after having that short period of sleeping without the sun beaming on me, and then yesterday having the sun, the clouds went away, it's all sunny like it is right now, waking up to that feeling, that sensation of feeling like I'm being cooked alive again, I felt my heart rate like literally intensify. It went from being calm and steady to fight or flight. Fight or flight. What are we doing? How can I escape this situation? How can I get out of here? That's the energy that I started feeling and I started embodying and I started reacting to. But now, as part of my last video, by stopping reacting and just being the observer, yes, I acknowledge that it still sucks to be, living where I'm living right now. Not the outside environment. Outside environment is great, but just the room itself that I'm in. Yeah, it still sucks, and I acknowledge that. But I don't have to react to that every single time that I'm triggered by something. I don't have to. And by taking that power back and just choosing to be the observer, today was a little bit tough, but again, it's a practice. It's a skill that you develop, that I'm developing even more and more. Because again, like, I came from an even worse environment before this, but I came from a worse environment before this house. And there, I had thought that I reached the level of mastery of being the observer, but really I haven't. And that's part of what this experience has been teaching me, is that I still have a whole lot more to learn. I have a whole lot more to learn. And yes, it is true that I need to get out and explore and travel and do all those different things. But at the same time, like, I remember last night, I was talking to myself, I was meditating, and I asked myself, so why is it that I'm still here? I'm consciously choosing to be elsewhere. I'm consciously choosing to set myself up for, travel and exploration and everything. But why am I still here? And what my intuition told me was that the only thing that you need to do here now is just finish laying the foundation. That's it. So I finished laying the foundation, and now what my intuition told me is just be more creative, create. It's not something like this situation that I'm in is not something that I need to work my way out of or fight my way out of. No, it's something that I create my way out of. That's what it is, just something that I create my way out of. And so that's the only thing that I haven't been doing in recent years, is being creative. And it's funny because it's just hitting me right now that that creative force is what created this entire reality. It's what created all of existence, creativity, what humans call creativity. And so by me abandoning that and putting my trust into the environment that I'm in and being angry with the results that I'm getting, I'm unconsciously creating such a negative spiral for myself, such a negative experience for myself, that I felt like I was trapped in. I felt like I was just like stuck and stagnant in, no matter how much I worked and worked and worked, I got enough to sustain myself, to survive. But again, coming from a place of survival mode, if that's the energy that you're embodying, that was the energy that I was embodying, then that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're manifesting. That's what you're choosing for yourself. And so now I'm choosing to be creative, to be free. And I remember last year, at the end of last year, and I'm talking about the matrix, or I'll say the Western New Year of December, January. I remember I was meditating, and what came to me was be more spontaneous, have more fun, be more creative. Those three things. Have more fun, be spontaneous, and be creative. Those three things. So if I focus on those, like that was a blueprint that was laid out for me this year, and it's taken me about 4 months to actually get to this point of being creative. And a lot of that is just because, again, I didn't trust. And because I didn't trust in the higher power, I didn't trust in my highest self, I didn't trust in the creator, I didn't act on things that I needed to act on. I wasn't trusting that my highest self, I wasn't trusting that God, the creator, I wasn't trusting in that higher force, because I was only reacting to my immediate reality and then wondering why nothing changed. Wondering why for the past, 3 years, I've been stuck in the same space physically. Wondering why. But really, it just came down to trust and faith. And so I started to practice having better trust by, one, being the observer, and two, just reminding myself that, I am the creator of my reality. I create this, I manifest this. Not literally that I made this and I made that and I made that, no. My experience, me being here right now, me feeling the ways that I feel right now, it's all me. I'm creating all of it. And if I get stuck in that cycle of reaction, that's all it is, just a cycle. And how do you get out of a cycle? Well, one, you just gotta break it. You can break it, you can walk out of it, you can do whatever you do, but ultimately what I'm saying is you have to just make a different decision. Make a different decision. And by making a different decision, well, first I'll say the different decision that I made was to stop putting my trust and faith into this external reality. Stop putting my trust and faith into, be more specific, this environment. Because if I was outside in a forest where I was surrounded by trees and soil and different animals and stuff, that's an environment that I would be happy to be in. And I'm happy to be here now because I worked through certain things, but it's been a struggle getting to this point because of so many external stimuli that I was constantly reacting to. There's a plane flying by, and then now I hear a helicopter, and kind of wondering if the audio is even coming through clearly. And I could get stressed and react to that negatively, but no, trust. I trust. So let me just wait for this helicopter. By breaking out of that cycle, by making the different decision to trust in my highest self. Not just my higher self, because my higher self can be just a version of myself that's only one tiny level higher than what I'm at right now. Now, I say my highest self because my highest self, what I perceive my highest self as, is the version of myself, the highest level of consciousness that I can even perceive right now, and beyond that. So it's not just the version of myself that I see being a multimillionaire, living in, a nice house in a quiet, serene environment, with a garden, community, thriving businesses and everything. Yeah, that's an aspect of my highest self, but that's just a higher version of myself, and that's not even anywhere near the highest version of myself. And so when I speak to my highest self, that's what I'm speaking on. everything that I perceive as my highest self or as my higher self, and even beyond that being, not even like being able to, from a human perspective, perceive what is beyond my, my perceived level of consciousness. I'm trying to put it into words right now, but it's a little bit difficult because it goes beyond. It's infinite. And real quick, even the word infinite, that's limiting to a certain extent as well, because when you say infinite, you're saying finite. So you're saying you're not finite, you're not limited, but you're only describing what you're not. You're not describing what really is. So that's just a little wordplay thing that I laugh about within myself, but that's why I say the beyond, because the beyond, you can't really describe it, but at the same time, it leaves so much room open to just, exploration, discovery. And so that's another reason why I know that I need to get out and travel. But anyways, getting back to the main topic, which is trust and faith, practicing higher levels of trust, taking my attention and my focus off of my environment, my immediate surroundings, and focusing on what's within. Because I know that I'm the creator. Like I was saying before, I know that I'm the creator. I know that I choose everything that I experience. And so also knowing how the quantum reality works, how this reality works, which is the quantum reality, just a version of the quantum reality, knowing that everything happens all at once at the same time. It's just a matter of choice, a matter of choosing which timeline we want to be on, which timeline I want to be on. Choosing that, or being in control of what I choose, that is where I'm placing my trust. Because I know that this entire reality, this entire matrix is created to be creators, to be the choosers of what we experience. And so if I'm consistently choosing to experience something that I don't like because I keep reacting to it over and over and over again, what good does that do for me? It doesn't do any good for me. Because maybe on a soul level, what I'm feeling right now is that on a lower level of my soul, I do want to experience that, because there's a part of me that learns from suffering. There's a part of me that learns from the struggle. And honestly, this gets into like the ancestors as well, elders and the ancestors, because of what we so-called black people, which are really just people with brown skin, curly hair. What we call black people, we've gone through so much in this reality, in this matrix, that we feel like we have to struggle to survive. We feel like we have to struggle to get things that we want, when that's not really the case. Because if you talk about like slavery and on, which is what they, here in the United States, what they teach us in the history books, they don't start beyond slavery, they start with slavery. And so they're basically saying that this is all your ancestors were, that's it, and you're here now, so be grateful for where you're at right now. That's basically it. That's basically what they teach us in grade school, elementary school, middle school, high school. That's what they teach us. Not that specifically, not that, word for word, but essentially that's what the message is. And having that programming instilled within us, and also having our parents and our grandparents reinsure that programming, it creates a subconscious program, like a big subconscious program that thrives on survival. I survived this, so therefore I deserve this. Or I struggled through this, so therefore I deserve this. When in reality, no. I mean, yeah, it's true if that's what you choose, but at the same time, we're all creators of this reality. We're all co-creators in this reality. So whatever we really choose for ourselves, whatever our subconscious beliefs are, our subconscious programming is, then that is the reality that we experience. Because you can look at like a so-called black person or just any person of color that's struggling versus another person of that same ethnicity, same background, same upbringing, but they're multimillionaires, all because they chose different for themselves. So that's all it is, just about choice. So that's where I started placing my trust and my faith in the choices that I make within myself is what I'm going to experience in this reality. I trust that. It's not something that's happening to me for no reason. It's not something that's happening to me because of something else. No, it's all me. So I took accountability for that, and it's all me. I take accountability for that, always and consistently, always and forever. So by doing that, taking that accountability, and accepting that, yeah, I've been where I've been because of my own personal choosing, tough pill to swallow, but hey, I accept that. I accept that, and I'm not going to wear it on my back like a badge of honor. No, I accept it. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to integrate it, and then whatever doesn't serve me from that, set it down. You can go sit over there while I'm lighter, stronger, more wise, smarter, more intelligent now. So I choose what can be integrated within me and what doesn't need to be integrated into me. So that struggle, that lack mentality, you serve your purpose, but now I don't need you. You serve your purpose. You're still technically always going to be an aspect of me, a part of me, but you're an aspect or a part of me that I don't need to act on. I don't need to embody to actually live in this life. So I place my trust in what I place my trust in my highest self, knowing that what I choose within myself is what I'm going to experience, and also acknowledging that in this 3D reality there is a period of lag, and this period of lag, like in a video game, like you say you're playing like Halo or Call of Duty or something like that, or the young kids out there, Fortnite, whatever. You say you're playing on a bad internet connection, and you go to shoot somebody, or you go to build something, or to put an input in on the controller, and it takes like 3 to 5 seconds, and you start getting frustrated because why is it not happening? I'm putting it in, I'm inputting this action, but it's not happening. Nothing's happening. What's going on? Same way I was getting tripped up here in this physical reality, because there's a lag period. Naturally, if you're not fully embodying your power, there's always going to be a lag period. Even when you are fully embodying your power, that lag period is still there. It's just less. But when you're someone that's not used to fully embodying your power and being a full, authentic version of yourself, then that lag period, it can feel like it's forever. And that's why I was getting tripped up, because I knew that the lag period was happening, but at the same time, I was so reactive to the triggers in my environment, that I was basically just not canceling out my manifestation, but I was significantly delaying it. So what I did past few days, just like very recently, when I was resting and allowing myself to actually heal and recover on my nervous system, when I was letting my nervous system heal and recover, I was just going into meditation and just visualizing what I want to happen. Sounds so simple, it may sound cliche to some people, but visualizing only works when you truly believe that what you're visualizing is your reality, like right here and now. Like as I'm sitting here right now, because of the visualization that I've been doing, I see myself not only just, looking into the camera, talking to you guys, but I also see myself in Sedona with a group of friends having a group trip, a group outing there. I see myself in Bali getting my yoga certification to teach. I see myself in Ireland traveling and healing my ancestral lineage. I see myself in even some places like Italy, South Africa. I see myself in those places, because that reality is already existing, not just in my mind, but because I can see it in my mind, that means that it's already existing in the quantum realm, in the quantum field. Which again, quantum field is basically everything. It's just what frequency are we choosing to be on? And so in my meditations in the past few days, I see myself, I'll take you through it. I see myself having way more money than I even need to survive. I see myself having a surplus, an abundance amount of money, of wealth. I see myself having a clientele, a base, a community that loves and supports what I have to offer, because I love offering what I offer, and I love supporting them in ways that I know how to best. And I see myself living in a better environment, a better space, so that when I am traveling, I'm able to come back to a home that I actually want to be in, that I actually enjoy being in, that actually feels healing and like a real home for me. I see myself laying in a comfortable bed. I see myself with a new laptop, a MacBook Pro, so that I can edit the videos even better, so I can make more music, so I can be more creative. I see myself catching a flight. I see myself booking my ticket, paying, and not feeling any guilt or remorse towards actually paying. Whether the plane ticket is $500, $1,000, $2,000, whatever, I see it, and it's fine, because I know that I have way more in my bank account, and I know that I have way more coming in, because I'm always being supported through everything that I'm doing, with everything that I'm doing. Because one thing that I told myself is that I've always been supported in anything that I chose. And so if I'm being supported in anything that I choose, why not choose what I want to experience? Why not choose what I want? So in doing that and seeing that for myself, I really allowed myself to actually step into that reality where, yeah, going back to the lag period, it may not be physically here yet, but I know it's coming, it's happening. That's it, it's happening. And that's where I'm placing my trust now. It's happening now. And I'm not just telling myself that, I'm really choosing that. I'm really allowing myself to feel what it actually feels like to accept that and receive that. Because in order to get to this point, I had to work on receiving. I had to work on not just accepting, but actually receiving. And so, like, this is something that's more common for men than women, but we're used to being, protectors and providers. So we're used to outputting things. We're used to being direct with our actions, as in we're used to, deciding to do something and then we go do it. We're used to providing for somebody else, providing for a lover, providing for a loved one, providing for our children, providing for our family. We're used to that. It's hard. At least it should be hardwired into our being as men. But because of that, receiving, as in receiving love, receiving gifts, receiving literally our own manifestations from the universe, we're not really used to receiving that, because we don't really, so I'll say it like this: if you don't work with your feminine, then receiving is going to be one of the toughest things you'll ever do. So I had to work with my feminine and work on actually receiving, so that I can then trust. I was used to receiving in certain ways, like receiving visions and stuff like that when I'm meditating, channeling, different stuff like that. But when it comes to like actually physically receiving, like having people offer to help me, having people offer to, like my parents, they helped me get this new phone, this new iPhone that I'm recording on, and it's my work phone now. And if I wasn't comfortable with receiving, which I still wasn't fully in the moment, but if I wasn't comfortable with receiving, then I would have rejected this opportunity to actually get something that's going to help me. And so, yeah, receiving, the topic of receiving, that might be another video as well, but I had to learn how to fully receive with grace and gratitude and love in order to actually allow the trust to be built within myself. And so, with the trust that I built within myself, now it's about having faith. Having faith that what I see in my mind is actually a reality that I can and I will, I am experiencing. Because again, you have to live in a state of mind and embody the state of mind as in it's happening right now. You have to live in that embodiment right now, like it's happening. Like for me, for example, I can go back to my old patterns, my old ways of reacting, responding to my external reality, as in I know that rent's coming up in X amount of days. I know that I have this amount of money, but also I can go on a hike. It's about an hour, 20 minutes away. Would meet up with a good brother of mine, have good conversation, establish connection and everything. I can choose to go do that. I know that I have enough money for it. I'm not sure if I'll have enough money for rent afterwards, but I do need to actually have some form of human connection, because I've been locked away in my room and just working without really connecting with anyone. And so I know that this is something that's going to help me. That's something that's going to help me heal more. And so by doing that, it's an investment into myself so that I can actually be more of my full authentic self and live the reality that I want to experience. And so again, I can either choose to react and respond to my external reality and let that dictate my actions, or I can choose a different path. I can choose to go have a good time with my brother. I can choose to go have a wonderful experience on a hike in nature in a new place that I haven't been, or a new hike that I haven't been to. Because I've been to this place before, but the city, but I haven't been to the hike. But again, it comes down to choosing something different, choosing something that's in support of my highest good. And that's what I'm choosing to do. Right now, after I wrap up this video, I'm going to get ready and I'm going to get on the road, go on a hike with him. And so that's what it comes down to. Having faith that by me making this decision, knowing that the lag period is there, but having faith that I still will have what I need to move forward. Because if I'm choosing to support myself, I'm choosing to invest in myself, I'm not just going to have fun and forget about my responsibilities. I'm not doing that. Because with this connection, it's also a potential business partner as well. Or at the very least, I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to let myself heal, and I'm going to get some business ideas and some more clarity on different things. Like, ultimately, it's going to be good no matter what. So I'm choosing something that's healthy for me instead of choosing to stay in fear and lack and I may not have enough money after this. No, forget about that. Again, I'm not abandoning my responsibilities, because I am maintaining responsibility of my finances, of everything that I have going on. I'm doing that. But I'm not falling victim to that old pattern, that old cycle of only responding to that, when I can choose something different, something better, that's something that's more in alignment with my highest good. And that's what I'm doing. And that's where the faith comes in. I may not see how it's going to happen exactly, but I know it's going to happen. Faith and knowing. I know in my heart, my sacred heart space, that I'm always going to be taken care of. I'm always going to be supported by the universal prime creator. And I'm being supported through the prime creator, through my environment. And that's the thing that wraps it up for me. Being supported through my environment, because acknowledging and seeing that all of this is the creator. All of this is God. All of this is our higher selves, our highest selves. All of this is in support of us. Like, if I'm looking around, like right now, seeing flowers on the ground, soil, grass, different plants. We got lemon tree over there, persimmon tree down there. We got so many different things that actually help us and support us. Because if these plants weren't here, we wouldn't have oxygen to breathe. If these trees weren't here, we wouldn't have oxygen to breathe. If this soil wasn't here, we wouldn't have food to eat. If this structure wasn't here, I wouldn't have a place to live. So acknowledging and seeing how the universal prime creator is actually working through everything, and since I'm always supported, I'm always being invested into by the prime creator to fulfill my soul's purpose, what excuse do I have to not fulfill my purpose? That's ultimately what it comes down to. There is no excuse to not fulfill my soul purpose. So I'm going to do it no matter what. And it's been taking me what I feel like longer than it should up until this point, but it's all a learning lesson. It's all part of the game. And that's all this is, just a game. And we're always supported in anything that we choose. So choose what is best for yourself. Choose what is in highest alignment for yourself. Choose to become your highest self. Choose to be in alignment, perfect alignment and harmony with the highest good of the universal prime creator. And with that, sending out with much love and wholeness to you. Ashe.